So
can I take off while we talk?
Yes, you may. What do you think about
I mean, that... Oh,
my
God,
my
if
eye
that is
makeup
not...
is
I
making
know.
my eyeballs burn.
Why do we bother? Super, super powerful, right? And actually can... Oh, there's a cat I almost hit. Can sting a little, right? Hearing it, but also words of hope and I don't know what
You know
else,
what I
but-
love about it is you know that you know, teaching, I guess if you want to call it that, right? Like the idea that we are not our past.
Right.
And you may have grown up with the most, you know, horrific and difficult, and you may be righteously resentful and angry and feeling like all of your current existence is based around what your parents did to you, or what a sibling did to you, or what an uncle did to you, or what a boss did to you, like any of these things that made you question like who you really are in the world and your worth, right? And what really hits me about that is whenever I see a passage that can explain in words the idea that it doesn't have to be like that, I just want to spread it because different people hear it in different ways.
Right.
And so not only do I think that was, you know, the most eloquently and beautiful explanation of, you know, why did my
Love,
parents
right.
not love me,
Right.
And it's like, no. The love is there. Whether it got to you or not is a different story.
Right.
And why that is yet another story.
And it's...
But I think people need to hear it, like when she says, like, now I need you to listen to me. Like, your parents are not the source of your love.
Nope. It's all right here. You are the source of your love. Right? Well, that is like, I know. It's very parallel to if someone's raised a certain way and they know they don't want to raise their kids the same way. You know, they change that, of the conscious to change that. It's just the same thing with love. If you're loved a certain way, and maybe love is perfect, love is imperfect. You know, love is love, but you have the power in you, or we all have the power in us to love the way we want to love, or the way we need to love our loved ones, right?
And how conscious of this mother to even be like, I never knew my own mother's love, and so now I'm afraid that I'm gonna do it wrong.
Oh God, I know.
You know? Oh God.
That's such a
oh God. H.
I know.
It's
Oh,
H.
H. We need to have lunch with H. Yeah. And also I love, which we did not read, but is also in this book too.
Islands.
I mean, but also like,
one?
we can do hard things.
Yes. That's
And
like
that's
her.
also, yeah.
That's her tagline, like on her her Instagram and whatever. So, Glennon, we're fans. We're
beyond.
Fans of. Let me also. This is my message to. I'm talking to Glennon now, because we're buddies, right? So I'm just gonna, like, as if she's never heard this before. I'm sure.
Yes. No.
I would like to use the word infatuated in the super non-stalky, stalker-ish, like super respectfulest way possible.
Like completely drawn to every bit of work you've ever done.
So I'm a fan of Abby. Before they were together, I was a fan of each of them separately. My daughter's a soccer person. I was not. I boycotted for a long time. Couldn't understand it, right? Until she started, she was good, and then she was like moving up, and I was like, I better start paying attention because this could be a thing. And, you know, because of my daughter, got into like the U.S. women's team, and they've done some incredible. Like, I found myself in Stop and Shop in a rainstorm, listening on the radio to the frickin' World Cup.
To the women.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, who am I? Like, I'm such a sports person. Like, I couldn't. Anyway.
Pivot.
I think that was like the U.S. women's versus Japan, I feel like, is the game that it was that I was actually listening to. And I was like, yes. I listen to sports on radio.
I know.
So Abby has been like an obsession in a way for me, like just all about everything, like about her, like her story, her struggle, her body. She was in the body issue. Did you see her pictures in the body issue of ESPN?
I did not,
girl,
but I will have
it's
to
like
see,
and
yes.
I love those editions because they take these athletes and they're nude, but they're, you know, they pose in a way, it's fascinating. Amazing. It's just like art. It's so beautiful. And then you've got Glennon, and then they find each other. And, like, I'll be honest, like, I don't even think... I was, like, late to the game here because I was reading Love Warrior, which is a whole book about how she, like, fought for her marriage. And then at the very end, like, I can't remember if she even admits this in the book by the time I was reading it, if there was, like a...
If this part of
what's
this
the
chapter
end of,
had started...
Well, it wasn't a chapter of the book. I just can't remember if it was like an edition or where
Okay.
But during her book tour, she essentially like meets Abby and like feels the sparks and knows this is her person.
It's in the beginning of this book. She tells
yeah, but I knew about it before this.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like the story was out there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh my God.
I am
forever grateful for Glennon Doyle.
I know. Seriously, I'm just like. Yes.
So good. No, it's amazing.
And I just love her Instagram, and they're just so, like, I always run to my husband and like I follow both of their Instagrams, so it's like you get the same story from two different views sometimes.
So great.
I run to my husband. I'm like, you have to watch this. They're so adorable. Like, that's so cute. I love it. I just love because it feels really, really pure to me. With all of its chaos and like whatever it is, it just feels really pure.
And even fame surrounding it, it's very, very pure. Yeah.
And so I really super duper really love that. So anyway, I just wanted to promote her because I truly and deeply feel like of all of the people that already know her and follow her, it should be triple, gazillion, quadruple.
She's like wise. Almost prophet-like, but not a prophet. Like, just like a...
It's just through what she's learned.
Wisdom.
And she's able to articulate it in a way where I'm just like, yes, please, speak for me.
Her gift with words is truly astounding.
It really
the way she
really
can
is.
Throw a sentence together, blow your mind. So everyone understands it.
There's another passage I really want to read.
Listen, maybe we're going to break down her book.
I don't know if that would be bad.
We'll just pick random paragraphs that blow us away.
But there is one, and it's interesting. And it took me longer than I thought to read that. That was like 10 minutes. I didn't think it. I was like, it's only 2 pages. I thought. But there's another passage in there that moved me because I'm just going to drop this and say, there is a lot of movement, good, solid, like hardcore fighter energy movement around, you know, women and strong women and tough women and fight and, you know, intolerance and equality and all of these things. And I have, as much as I am there with that, I have a daughter. I am a woman.
Yes.
I support other women. I'm there. I have a son.
Me too. I knew it.
And and this is where I probably won't articulate. I should write this out. But I find myself thinking sometimes that my son doesn't have a chance in the world because there's just so much toxic masculinity, right? And they're going to look at him and they're just going to assume certain things. And I find myself, more so than telling my daughter not to walk through a dark garage by herself, I find myself telling my son, here's a written contract. When you're ready to have sex, it needs to be signed. Like, literally, like these, I find myself putting more energy into raising him as a man than, you know, worrying about my daughter being strong, which she is strong. Okay.
Oh, she is. Yeah.
So this is something that comes up for me and something that I've been trying to figure out. And there is a section in Glennon's book, which because much of her book is very much strong women.
Yes, it is.
And I get behind it, but it's what's interesting is by the time I got to this chapter, I was feeling a little bit of that, like, what about the man?
What about? And then she says,
and then she
oh,
has,
I have this.
correct.
I know.
And it was like she was speaking to me. So there's a chapter where she recognizes and talks about that she has a son.
And what?
And
it's
I
like
couldn't hold it together.
Yes.
But it was even more about how she's spending all this time teaching her daughters to be strong, but she's not teaching her son to be sensitive.
Right.
And why there's, you know,
Exactly.
it's like
The
a woman
double
can be
standard.
sensitive and strong, but then she's like, holy shit, I have a son. Like, he can be strong and sensitive.
And tender, and that's his. That will be his gift.
That will be his
to the world.
superpower.
His
Correct.
superpower. Yeah.
And how, I mean, ideally it's just this premise of all of us can be strong and sensitive, and all of us should be strong and sensitive, and we don't have to fall into these confines of women are only sensitive and the man has to do X, Y, and Z.
Please, I know.
And it's really beautiful. So get the book, guys. That's pretty much where I'm at with that.
A lot.
It will.
It can. It has the power to.
It so does. And I'll even challenge you this. Get the book and then comment or text us or do something. I want to know. Like, I legit want to know what you're loving, right? Which part is changing your life? Because ultimately you're going to hear something that is, you're going to be like, oh my God,
Like,
this is the
holy
chapter.
shit. That's it. Yep. And they're short chapters, and they're easy to get through.
Yes.
It's just amazing.
And if you're
Just
a
do it.
parent,
Yeah.
like, there's no even, like just, I'm not even giving you the choice. Like, you're getting it. Like, go out and
Go
get
out
it.
and get it, yeah.
If you're a parent.
Or
but,
Audible it, whatever.
Yeah,
but
seriously.
it's so good.
Yes.
It's so good.
Untamed, Glennon Doyle. That's our promotion for the day.
It's your homework. Yeah. Ciao, ciao.